Nigerian politicians warned against interfering in INEC activities. JAMB scraps mop-up UTME. While on the foreign scene, King Charles III responds to condolences across the globe. Good evening, and we are glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubomi Ajiboye Agbola. The European Union has sounded a note of warning to politicians against interfering in the activities of the Independent National Electoral Commission ahead of the 2023 general elections, saying that the electoral body must be allowed to operate free from outside pressure. This as the organization warned politicians to guard against the hate speech and any form of behavior that may have negative effect on the outcome of the 2023 poll. Head of the EU delegation to Nigeria and the Economic Community of West African States, Ambassador Samuela Isopi, gave the advice in Abuja at the official closure of the Phase 1 and launch of Phase 2 of the EU support to democratic governance in Nigeria. While Phase 1 of the program implemented from 2017 to 2022 coincided with the 2015 to 2019 and 2019 to 2023 electoral cycles, Phase 2 from 2022 to 2027 will cover the 2023-2027 electoral cycle. She observed that though who wins the election in 2023 is for the Nigerian people to decide, Isopi observed that the EU would continue to share Nigeria's interest to see a solid process leading to peaceful, free, fair and credible elections. According to her, the organization has contributed about 150 million euros in improving Nigeria's electoral system since the nation's return to democratic rule in 1999, adding that about 39 million euros will be spent on the second phase of the EU SDGN program. Meanwhile, the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission is committed to the adherence of the provisions of the Constitution to bringing governance closer to the people at the grassroots by putting in place a democratically elected government at the local level. OSEC Chairman Otunba Segun Oladiton said this at the opening ceremony of a 5-day training workshop for electoral officers and assistant electoral officers preparatory towards the forthcoming October 15 council election. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga now reports.
Towards the conduct of local government and local government council development area election in Osun State, the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSEC, organized a 5-day workshop to train electoral officers and assistant electoral officers who will be participating in the elections. In his welcome address at the opening ceremony workshop organized by the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, the OSEC boss, Otunba Segun Oladiton, noted that the workshop is organized to screen and engage the commission's field officers. The OSEC chairman noted that the commission is poised towards conducting free, fair and credible election by providing a level playing ground for all stakeholders and building the confidence of the electorate. He stated further that as an election management body, OSEC will ensure a credible election through a transparent electoral process by using competent and both permanent and ad hoc personnel who would work in accordance with the law. Otunba Oladiton maintained that the commission is ready to provide all the necessary logistics, materials and equipment to facilitate the conduct of free, fair and credible elections, hence the need for a thorough training and retraining of all the personnel that will participate at the election. The
motive behind this is that we believe that by the grace of God we are conducting the local government election on October 15, 2022. The people being trained here, we call it intensive training of the electoral officers, assistant electoral officers, who will be the first layer of people to be appointed to conduct the elections.
Some of the trainees who spoke with OSBC News, including Mr. Abayomi Olayombo and Ms. Opeyemi Olunlade, described the workshop as a veritable channel of giving them the knowledge required to carry out the job effectively.
It will be the best thing that will happen to us so that we can conduct a free and fair election.
The training, I think it's 5 days training to help us prepare because we don't know what to do yet. So they will help us to get prepared and to know what to do next.
Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reporting for OSBC News.
The federal government says improvements in the remuneration and conditions of service of judicial officers would remain uppermost on the agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, stated this in his address at the 2022 Court of Appeal Annual Legal Year. The minister said that the ongoing process of improving the welfare package of the judicial officers will be completed in accordance with extant constitutional and statutory provisions. Malami added that the available appropriation figures also bore testament to the fact of a progressively upward review of annual budgetary appropriation to the judiciary under President Muhammadu Buhari. According to him, while the budget of the judiciary declined from 95 billion naira in 2010 to 68 billion naira in 2014, noting the upward swing in 2015 from 73 billion naira to 120 billion naira in 2022. He said the government also made special budgetary provision to cater for special assignments associated with national elections. The suit against the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which was filed by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, has been adjourned. The matter came up before Justice Polycarp Aman of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria in Abuja. The federal government had urged the National Industrial Court to order ASU to call off its 7-month strike. Joined as a claimant in the matter is the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, with the President of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, as sole defendants. When the matter slated for mention came up, human rights activist Ebonolu Adigorua informed the court that he was representing the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and that he had filed a suit on the same subject matter before the same court. His prayer to Serap in the suit was opposed by counsel to the claimant, Mr. T.A. Ghazali, who said the application was premature, adding that it is not necessary for Serap to pray to be joined in a suit that did not have its name on the court list. Counsel to ASU, Mr. Femi Falana, in his response informed the court that both counsel had informed him that they were both filing some papers and urged the court to step down the matter to enable both counsel to file their papers and then return at a later date, after which he would have responded to the claimant's process. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it will no longer conduct mop-up examination for candidates of Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination who are not biometrically verified. The board made this known in its weekly bulletin of the Office of the Registrar today in Abuja, adding that the move was to further strengthen the news around examination malpractice. It will be recalled that the board had allowed such candidates to be rescheduled for the mop-up UTME introduced in 2017. JAMB said that the decision emanated from the management's rigorous review of the 2022 UTME exercise with the need to close all loopholes noticed during the examination. However, the board has realized the futility of such an arrangement after assessing the process and its impact on the entire examination value chain. The bulletin noted that measure was not only to sanitize the examination process, but also to ensure that the hard-earned reputation of the board was not impugned. Flight operations at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport were grounded today over a dispute between the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. Following the crisis, flights scheduled to leave Kano were disrupted as the air traffic controller suspended their operations, which affected the landing and takeoff of flights. Also, flights scheduled for Abuja and Lagos were not allowed to leave, as passengers that boarded the aircraft were later asked to disembark following the shutdown of operations by air traffic controllers. It was also learned that the Nigerian Air Traffic Controllers Association shut down air navigation services for flights in and out of the airport over power supply to NAMA facility and staff accommodations that were disconnected. As a result of the problem, many passengers, including some federal lawmakers, were stranded at the airport while efforts was made to sort out the differences so as to restore flight operations. It was learned that FAN disconnected power supply to all NAMA staff accommodations due to non-payment of electricity bills. Showers of encomium trade the retirement Thanksgiving and launching of a new music album of Pastor Kehinde Ajibade, who recently retired from the News and Current Affairs Department of OSBC. Many described him as a man whose behavior reflects the Bible he professes as a Christian. OSBC News reporter Oluchi Amoda completes the story.
The retirement Thanksgiving and launching of the music album of the renowned broadcast journalist who dabbles as a gospel singer, Pastor Kehinde Ajibade, attracted the who is who in the journalism profession and beyond. The Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, OSBC family, both serving and retired members of the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, OSBC family, were on ground to honor one of their own for his meritorious service to the corporation, the state, and the country at large. The testimonies from professional colleagues, both serving and retired, families, friends, and neighbors of Pastor Ajibade were mind-blowing, attesting to the impact the retired broadcast journalist come cleric made and will continue to make in the lives of the people he comes in contact with.
At that time, 2003 up to now, I saw him as a man who harbors no bitterness.
That could be likened to an exam hall. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not knowing that everyone has a different question paper.
A very nice man, very caring, loving, and very exemplary by whatever yardstick and standard.
I'm very, very glad to work with him. He's a nice man. As an elderly man, he will advise you, he will talk to you, he will forget that this one is my colleague, I don't want to discuss with him. We will talk to you, discuss with you.
The royal fathers of the day, Oba Kamarudin Adeyanju, Oloro Ruo of Ororuo, and the Olu of Olorun Shogo, Oba Dauda Ariyo, among others, all showered encomiums on Pastor Ajibade for his humane nature and professionalism. The chairman of the event, Honorable Bamidele Salam, who was represented by Mr. Adams, Sekete, and the chief launcher, Otumba Olushola Adekanla, commended the exemplary lifestyle of the celebrant, just as they urged him not to relent in his service to God and humanity. In his response, Pastor Ajibade, who appreciated God Almighty for bringing him thus far, equally expressed gratitude to a veteran journalist, Mr. Kayode Adedire, whom he described as his godfather in journalism, for believing in him and giving him the chance to blossom in the field. He advised those still in active service to remain dedicated to their job, adding that everyone will be rewarded accordingly.
Part in the history of my life today has been the best of the days I will forever remember.
The event climaxed with the launching of the music album entitled Baba Gbawa, and the celebrant thrilled the audience with a spirit-filled, melodious gospel song. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted morning thunderstorms over the northern parts, especially over parts of Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Taraba, Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, and Adamawa states. According to the agency, Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Bauchi, Gombe, Sokoto, and Kebbi states will experience thunderstorms in the mornings, and other states likely to experience thunderstorms are Zamfara, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, and Jigawa. Also, rains are expected over the north-central region in the morning hours, in the afternoon, and evening hours. Thunderstorms are expected over Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Kogi, and the FCT. According to NIMET, a cloudy atmosphere is envisaged over the northern region on Tuesday, with prospects of thunderstorm over parts of Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Taraba, and Adamawa states in the morning hours. NIMET anticipated isolated thunderstorms over parts of Zamfara, Sokoto, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Taraba, and Adamawa states later in the day. its anticipated isolated thunderstorm over Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Borno, Sokoto, Zamfara, Gombe, and Bauchi states in the afternoon and evening periods. Also, the agency said the northern and north-central parts of the country are still at high risk of floods. It urged emergency agencies to be alert and airline operators to get updated about weather reports from the agency for effective planning in their operations. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 241 cases of monkeypox, up from 220 so far this year, according to the NCDC's latest report on the disease for week 33. Confirmed cases were reported from 30 states in the country. It further said that there are no fewer than 604 suspected cases of the infection as a rare viral disease transmitted from animals to humans that occurs sporadically, primarily in remote villages of Central and West Africa near tropical rainforest. The report added that 74 new suspected cases were reported in EPI week 33 between August 15 to 21 from 28 states. 2 new deaths were reported in EPI week 33, and 6 deaths were recorded in 6 states, which are Delta, Lagos, Ondo, Akwa Ibom, Taraba, and Kogi states, with a case fatality rate of 2.4%. Also, the NCDC has said the number of confirmed cases of Lassa fever in the country has increased to 909 in week 35 of 2022, up from the previous 899 cases recorded in week 34. You are welcome to our sports segment. Carlos Alcaraz claimed his maiden Grand Slam title at the US Open to become the youngest man to be ranked world #1, while Poland's Iga Swiatek retained her position at the top of the women's game with the second Grand Slam title of the season at the final Grand Slam of the year. Omotayo Adebodo has the details of this and more from the world of sports.
Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz
to train electoral officers.